There's Marco D'Amico. I'm Shaun Starr. Big shout out to our sponsors. CheapestT-shirts.ca. Top brands like Russell Athletic, Columbia, American Apparel. No minimum orders. Order today, ship today, and most deliveries will arrive tomorrow. CheapestT-shirts.ca. Fast, easy, and affordable. McLean's Pub, 1210 Peel Street, the home of D'Amico and Starr, and your home away from home from all Montreal Canadiens game. A perfect spot before the game, after the game, and the perfect spot to join D'Amico and Starr. Good food menu, butter chicken pizza, chicken tendies with the hottest sauce you can take on, and no bad seat in the house. And shout out to our friend Catherine Prince, certified real estate broker with Remax Platine, reachable at 514-702-2474. That's 702-2474. Check out our website, Catherine with a K. That's catherineprince.ca. Michael Hage is having a heck of a start to his Michigan Wolverines season. 3 games played, brother. He's got 9 points. I guess that 34-point campaign in last season with Michigan is on the clock. You were telling us in the summer months, get ready, this program was going to find another level. So which is it? This player has found another level. The team has found another level, which has allowed him to put up the points he's put up. What's the breakdown of Michael Hage after 3 games?
So 4 goals and 5 assists for 9 points in 4 games, 2 weekends that he's played. So, definitely. I mean, first of all, 7 of those 9 points came against Mercyhurst last weekend. So not a Division I team. So kind of understandable.
Yeah.
But what I think kind of impressed me more was his impact against Providence.
Yeah.
That's a bigger school. It's a bigger team. Generally a more defensive team. Game 1 was a little bit more offensive than people thought. That was on Friday's game. Michael Hage had 2 goals, 1 very pretty goal on a breakaway that I encourage you all to go and see. But the second game was a much more defensive style that he played on Saturday. And, with Michael Hage, obviously we're going to look at the points. Obviously you're going to look at the points. I think he's going to have a great season offensively, but if it makes any sense, that's not what I'm looking for. Right. He's going to put up 40-ish, 50-ish points this season, probably with the way that Michigan loaded up this year. You have Malcolm Spence, you have Henry Muse, Will Horkoff is back, and now a first-round pick, Jaden Perron, Ivankovic and Net. Like they're stacked compared to last year. And what I would say is Michael Hage has been the best element that they've had over the last 4 games in that group of people that I just named. And that includes Will Horkoff's 5 goals last weekend. So to me, I think what's interesting about Michael Hage is how he's getting his offense. So and it's everyone kind of knows him as the goal scorer in the NCAA. But one of the biggest critiques was how he used his teammates.
What about his body composition? Is he going to get? He's a big young man already. Water. Yeah, he's a big guy already, but in terms of adding a little bit more mass and the position that he plays, I see, fans are going to fan, right? And I'm guilty of it, as not maybe as much as most people, but like some people every now and again, right? But when we talk about Michael Hage, 2C of the future, playing 2C at the National Hockey League is no gimme putt. I don't know if I'm comfortable saying it's to be assumed that the chair is just being kept warm from Michael Hage. But how realistic is it for the fan on the street, the fan watching us today, and thank you, by the way, that they can look forward to, and when they say 2C of the future, they're not going to be laughed out of the room?
Well, the Canadiens view Michael Hage as a center. I spoke to Michael Hage last week. An interview actually is up with RG Media at this time, where we kind of discussed the efforts that he put into being a center. And one of the things we talked about was the rigors of a full physical season, right? Jumping from the USHL into the NCAA is a different beast. And now even this year, it's a more competitive league than it ever has been. And so one of the things that, Hage spoke about is if he's going to be a center, he's got to be involved physically in winning battles in the corners, gaining position, maintaining puck possession, and so on and so forth. And he said that, last year he had a couple of bumps and bruises, played through a couple of injuries at different points in the season, and that he really had to build up his body this year or over the summer to be able to withstand, the impact, the toll physically that the season will have on him. I think early on, you're already seeing the benefits of that. And, there was a hint that he was going to have a very solid season. He
Yeah.
was off the charts at development camp in terms of his hands, in terms of the way he was playing, his face-off percentage, or at least the skills in the dot improved greatly. And then you saw him play at the World Junior Summer Showcase for Canada. And he had a goal in every game, played center for 3, played wing for another. And Team Canada, Hockey Canada, ranted and raved about how complete his game was and how much more physical he was. And it's not by chance. Michael Hage is doing absolutely everything to be a center full time in the NHL, even though there are doubts still that his game is better suited for the wing.
Right. Catherine Prince, Remax Platine. It's time to talk about one of life's biggest decisions, and that's buying or selling your house. And I encourage you to visit catherineprince.ca for more information. That's Catherine with a K, prince.ca. A South Shore and Montreal area specialist. She's lived and worked in the region for over 20 years. catherineprince.ca. Her deep local roots give her unmatched insight, whether you're moving to Montreal, returning to Montreal, or relocating to the beautiful South Shore. Her approach is truly personal. She takes the time to understand your unique goals and priorities, then crafts a custom strategy around them. She moves with precision, leveraging deep market knowledge, sharp negotiation skills, and meticulous care to guide you through every step. If you're considering a move to Montreal, a return to the city, or settling on the South Shore, Catherine is ready to be your strategic partner. Call Catherine Prince, that's Catherine with a K, 514-702-2474 to start the conversation. I mean, that, we talked about this recently, that even on, Team Canada roster projections for later this winter, right, that they had him on the wing, and maybe it's more of a testament to the depth that Canada is going to bring with them, as opposed to an indictment on Michael Hage's hockey IQ. But walk me through his skill set, like for fans that don't pay attention to the NC2A like you do. I'm asking you to take him to school for a second, like his skill set, what he brings, what makes him such a premier goal scorer, where he's got 4 goals in 3 games to go with 5 assists.
One of the things we spoke about was that he wanted to become more of a shooting threat this year. And so he worked very heavily on his shooting mechanics, improving upper body strength in that regard, and just being able to score in different ways. And his 4 goals are very different. Some one-timers on the power play, some breakaway chances that he was able to generate off beauty passes from his teammates, but his explosive speed it's going to be a breath of fresh air down the middle. Let's just say that. The only negative, and it's not really his fault, and in fact, the entire NHL would actually find this to be a good thing, except for the Montreal Canadiens, is he's a right shot center.
Oh no!
And the Canadiens, well, they have a lot of those.
Yeah, no kidding.
But in terms of everything else, he would be, in my opinion, from a skill set perspective, would be a perfect complement to a guy like Nick Suzuki, because he's got blistering speed. He's more of a shooter. He can make plays at top speed, elite top speed. And this is at the NCAA level. Of course, players need to continue to evolve, but it's one of these skills. And I've always said this, right? I feel like the best players in the league, or at least most of them, can execute quickly, almost to an elite level, with puck possession at full speed. There are very few NHL players that have that skill mastered. It's what makes Connor McDavid, in my honest opinion, right?
Sure.
It's the elite speed, elite puck handling, and elite shooting mechanics, and how none of those hamper the other. Well, I don't think that Michael Hage is anywhere near Connor McDavid in terms of skill set, but it's that ability to not lose pace with the puck on his stick, and in fact accelerate with it and complete plays at a very, very quick pace. These are translatable skills that do very well in the NHL, which is why the NCAA is viewed as such a strong league when it comes to developmental confidence from scouts, because they play a game akin to the NHL, the closest, in my honest opinion, in North America to the NHL. So when you see him play and you see the way he is able to move the puck and transition, like he's a transition monster. Absolute beauty in terms of being able to move through the neutral zone and enter the zone with possession. And when he does enter the zone with possession, he's dangerous in and of his own self, right? So I'll give you an example. Alex Newhook. Alex Newhook is elite at entering the zone with speed. And then what happens? Right? Like, and then he's kind of waiting for a teammate.
Correct.
He doesn't
Correct.
have the he doesn't
He can't
have
do it.
the habit. No, he can, but he doesn't have the habit of crashing and going straight to the net.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Michael Hage does, and he has the hands to execute. And I think that's really, like, if Michael Hage hits as a center, it could be a very, very, very valuable player for the Montreal Canadiens. The biggest concern was his physical play. Would he be able to withstand the physical demands of being a center playing a 200-foot game?
That's it.
And so far, in my conversations with those at Michigan, the answer is a resounding yes. They are very happy with this two-way game, very happy with this physical implication. He was very physical on Saturday night in a tougher, I would say angrier game against Providence. And you really love to see it. And then also just face-offs, right? Like, he's really improved in the dot. I think he's really done a good job of improving there. And if you're the Montreal Canadiens and you want a prototypical number 2 center, that center has to be at least a 52% at the dot, in their prime consistently. And so the way that Michael Hage has improved that as well, there's a lot of layers that he's adding to his game. Some still see him as a potential winger. And honestly, if the Canadiens already have a number 2 center, then you're fine. But I feel like he's at that stage now where he's going to be at the top end of the NCAA, and it's just a question of translating it into the NHL.
Come check us out at McLean's 1210 Peel, October 22nd from 7 to 8 p.m. for a live show. We've got lots of prizes to give away, including our friends at Morella's Steakhouse.ca, Highway 132 in Ganawage. We've got $100 gift cards to give away so you can enjoy premium steaks, fresh pasta, fresh seafood, outstanding wine and cigar lists. Thanks to our friends at Morella's. We'll see you at Morella's. You can reserve online, get your table at Steakhouse.ca, Highway 132 in Ganawage, and no taxes on the bill. I don't know. I don't know about you. I love that aspect. Let me put you on the PTI shot clock here. Shout out Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon. Do this in 90 seconds. 90 seconds. What's his timeline to the NHL for Michael Hage? Let's wrap on that.
What do you mean by time? Like playing games?
When he's done at Michigan, full season Laval. Does he? I mean, is he going to be like Brendan Gallagher, like NHL ready with very little seasoning in the American Hockey League? That's what I meant specifically.
Yeah, I think it's tough because he has the skill set to play in the NHL.
Yeah,
right? I think he's one and done in the NCAA. Well, one and done. It's his second season, but I think he's done at the end of this season, and then jumping to the NHL. I do think that physically speaking, he still needs to add to his frame to be able to withstand the NHL game. So I wouldn't be opposed to seeing him potentially dominate in the American Hockey League, and even maybe not even dominate, but just to simmer in the American Hockey League in 2026, 2027, and potentially earn a call up throughout the year and see what happens. But that all of that depends on where the Montreal Canadiens are in terms of their depth down the middle at that time. Right. And I think that's going to be the interesting part, because if the Canadiens do make an acquisition for a top 6 center during this season, well, that takes a load off of Michael Hage, like the acquisition of Noah Dobson took a load off of David Reinbacher. Right. And so that's the way I see it. So it really kind of depends on what they decide to do. But they very, very much like Michael Hage, and they're very invested, almost incredibly invested in developing him as a center. So I don't think they're going to rush it, even though he has the skills that I think would be adequate to play in the NHL as soon as the end of this year.
34 points for Michael Hage last season. He's on 9 right now. And his Michigan Wolverines side has played 3 games. He's got 4 goals and 5 assists. All eyes on Michael Hage. All eyes on the Starr and D'Amico show, brought to you by Little Bear, littlebearonline.com. Chuck and Evie and their staff care about your pet as much as you do. with fine accessories from around the world, local foods too, and expert advice, not that big box store stuff. Check them out at littlebearonline.com. They deliver, and they've got curbside pickup. Find them on St. Catherine across from Westmount Square. Make sure to keep it locked into Starr and D'Amico all week long. We've got live shows following the Montreal Canadiens games, and of course, your usual Sunday morning extravaganza with that man right there. You can follow Marco D'Amico at MN D'Amico on all your favorite social platforms. Marco, thank you, sir, and looking forward to seeing you live following Habs games and, of course, our Sunday morning show. Thank you.
Always a pleasure, guys. Have a good one.